Being proud of yourself comes from doing difficult things. If you want to have more self-love, more self-respect, more self-confidence, more self-pride, it comes from teaching yourself that you do difficult things. When something's easy for you and you win, you don't feel great about yourself, right? If you were going to, I use the example, if you're going to run a race against 3-year-olds, great, you could win that race backwards and blindfolded. Right? Probably. So great. Hey, you won. Awesome. Other people might celebrate you. Other people might give you a ribbon or an award or some congratulations on social media. Other people might think that you're amazing, but you are not proud of yourself because it was too easy. And if you teach yourself that you only do the things that are easy, you are not going to love yourself or love your life. Everything great that you want is on the other side of doing difficult things. Here's why it's so important, is because when you get an idea, and I think you're a genius, right? I think you've got what I call Michael Jordan level genius at something. I think you're a genius. I think you are the greatest in the world at something. You're the greatest in the world at something. And it's probably not what your parents did or your grandparents did or the people in your community or someone like you was supposed to do, right? It's probably not that. It's something different. You've got great ideas. What ends up happening, you come up with a great idea, and then you believe a story why you can't do it. Maybe you're watching this video, you came up with an idea, or maybe you came up with a different idea this morning and said, I really want to do this. Here's a great idea. And then your brain immediately starts finding all the reasons why that's not going to work. It's not going to work because you don't have enough money, because you're not that kind of person, because you didn't go to school, because you don't have the connections, because you live in a different country, because, and then you believe the story why you can't do it. And this is a really destructive and negative pattern that happens over and over and over again. And maybe that happens right away. Maybe you get the idea and then right away you start killing it. Or maybe you get the idea and you start thinking great things, but then tomorrow you wake up and then you start the negative cycle of why you can't do it. Or maybe you tell your friends or your family and they tell you all the reasons why you're not gonna be able to do it. It's super destructive to come up with an idea. Maybe the most destructive thing that you can do for your mindset, for your self-love, for your pride is to teach yourself that you get an idea and you don't do it. That you get an idea and you play scared. That you get an idea and you play small. Because you're always trying to get the easy wins. Because you're always trying to do the things that make sense, as opposed to understanding that your brain operates by a place that currently exists and keeps you practical, safe, and scared, and your heart can create something brand new that's never been done before, but doesn't make logical sense because it's never been done before. Right? That's what you really want to do. And so taking on the difficult things, not letting that be a reason why you don't take action, is super, super, super important. Because everything you want is on the other side of difficult things. Your self-love, your self-respect, your self-pride will come from taking on difficult challenges. And one of the greatest things that you can ever do in your life is shifting your identity. This is what makes you proud. This is an identity game. What do you believe about yourself by yourself? What do you look at when you look in the mirror? Do you see somebody who loves themselves, who's proud of themselves, who's a kick-ass person today, or not? For too many people, they're not. And so you get wrapped up in the self-esteem of likes and comments on Instagram and YouTube and Twitter and Facebook because you don't love yourself and you're hoping that somebody else who's giving you some love will permeate. But it's a cheap substitute. It's a cheap substitute because the inside game, the most important game, is you learning to be proud of yourself without needing the external validation. So how does that come? By doing difficult things. By taking the ideas that you have and starting to implement them, especially when you don't know how it's going to work out and you don't believe that somebody like you could do it. The two ways that I do it are, one, if I ever hear myself say scary, difficult, or hard, right? Scary, difficult, or hard is not an acceptable reason anymore. I can't tell you the number of times I'm coaching entrepreneurs or seeing in the DMs, like, I really want to do this, but I'm scared. You've accepted the fact that you're scared as being a good enough reason. That's what we need to destroy. That mindset is the exact thing that has to be exploded. I really want to do this, but I'm afraid. Great. Fear is not a good enough reason. Not anymore. Not for you. Scary, difficult, or hard. If you say those words, if you see yourself typing out those words as a reason for you not to take action, you have to start to trigger yourself. I use those as triggers. I call them play bigger triggers. They're triggers that make you play bigger, right? Triggers that force you to play a bigger game. Scary, difficult, or hard. When you see it, when you say it, when you're thinking it, When you're writing it down, now it means you have to do it. Because being afraid is not a good enough reason for you not to take action. The second is what I call the boom, boom, boom test, which is when your heart is beating really quickly. You get an idea, you want to do something, but instantly your heart starts beating quickly. It's the same thing. You're still just nervous. You're still afraid. You still think it's too difficult. You still think it's scary. The difference is instead of verbalizing it or thinking it, you're feeling it in your body. So some people are much more vocal and you know think a lot, and some people they're more physical and you feel it in your body. Either way, either the boom, boom, boom test or you say scary, difficult, or hard, that means you have to do it. It's the single greatest identity shift that you can ever make for yourself. That when you come across something that's difficult, you're going to take action on it. That you are tired of playing small, tired of thinking small. Even if you're good at the thing, you don't want that life. That's a boring life. If you only did the things that you knew how to do, that you were good at, you're basically living your life photocopying one day after another. You'll get bored of it. You'll start to hate your life. You'll start to search for more meaning. But you've tied your identity to the person who wins as opposed to the person who tries really hard, right? And it's a big shift because if you woke up and you tried your best every day, you're rewarding the effort, not the result. If that's what you did by doing difficult things, if you tied your self-esteem to doing difficult things every day, you're going to create amazing things even though most days you're going to fail. If you tied your self-esteem to just winning all the time, then you're always going to play a small game because you're only going to enter into the races where you know you're going to win. Therefore, you play small for life, photocopy every day, and end up hating your life. Self-pride. You want to be proud of yourself? That's the only game that matters. You want to be proud of yourself, you have to teach yourself that being scared, doing something difficult, the fact that you're afraid, they're not good enough reasons for your procrastination. Not anymore. If you want another Evan Rant video that just might give you the confidence you need, check it out right there next to me. I think you'll enjoy it. Continue to believe, and I'll see you there.
The fastest way to learn Japanese is to go to Japan. The fastest way to learn any skill, pick up any mindset, change your belief systems is to be immersed around the people